why the Pittsburgh Steelers will win the 2024-2025 Super Bowl. The Pittsburgh Steelers are coming off a year in which they went through countless ups and downs. Despite starting 3 different quarterbacks throughout the year and firing their offensive coordinator, they still finished the season with a 10-7 record and made the playoffs. While they have flown under the radar over the offseason and have not received much attention from the media, they have made some incredible moves that will make them Super Bowl champions in the 2024-2025 season. Today, we will break down how the 2023-2024 season played out for the Steelers and some key pieces they picked up on both sides of the ball to explain why the Pittsburgh Steelers will win the upcoming Super Bowl. Season recap. The Steelers' 2023-2024 campaign got off to a solid start heading into their Week 5 bye with a record of 3-2. While they were barely holding on to their winning record, they faced a gauntlet over this stretch, taking on 4 teams that went on to make the playoffs in the 49ers, Browns, Texans, and Ravens, taking down the Browns and the Ravens. Following their bye week, they had a much easier go, taking on 4 playoff teams in the next 12 weeks in the Rams, Packers, Browns, and Ravens again. While they finished the regular season with a 10-7 record, extending head coach Mike Tomlin's streak of 17 winning seasons without a losing record, it was far from a cakewalk for the Steelers. In Week 13, starting quarterback Kenny Pickett went down with a sprained ankle that required surgery and put an end to his season. Through the remainder of the year, Pittsburgh was forced to run out Mitchell Trubisky, who led the team to a dismal 0-2 record. Following his benching, third stringer Mason Rudolph took over and led the Steelers to a 3-0 record in the regular season, including a win over the Baltimore Ravens in Week 18. This win gave the Steelers a 7-1 record in their past 8 meetings against the Ravens. Along with their issues at quarterback, the Steelers were forced to fire offensive coordinator Matt Canada following a 13-10 loss against the Cleveland Browns. Following his firing, the Steelers closed out the regular season with a 4-4 record, with Mike Sullivan and Eddie Faulkner sharing the offensive coordinating responsibilities. Despite the resilience they showed all season, Pittsburgh's 2023-2024 campaign ended on a very sour note in a 31-17 loss against the Buffalo Bills in the wildcard round. The Steelers had one of the worst passing offenses in the entire league, finishing 25th in passing yards and 30th in passing touchdowns. With Kenny Pickett now out of the picture at Philadelphia, Pittsburgh brings in 2 starting caliber quarterbacks to replace him. This is an area where they could see the most improvement next season. While their passing game struggled, they had an above-average run game with a solid year from Najee Harris and the emergence of second-year running back Jaylen Warren. The Steelers finished 13th in rushing yards and 11th in rushing touchdowns. Now, on to the defensive side of the ball, but their rankings are a bit misleading. As a result of the offense struggling to move the ball throughout the year, Pittsburgh's defense was forced to take the field far more than many other defensive units throughout the league. Against the pass, they were around league average, ranking 17th in both passing yards allowed and passing touchdowns allowed. Against the run, they were a bit below average in rushing yards allowed, ranking 19th. However, they were incredible at the goal line against the run, allowing the 3rd least rushing touchdowns in the league. The offensive acquisitions. Over the season, the Steelers made some essential pickups on offense that take them from a team that can sneak into the playoffs into a team that has a real shot of winning the Super Bowl. After he was released from the Denver Broncos, Pittsburgh signed former Super Bowl champion and 9-time Pro Bowler Russell Wilson. Despite playing alongside a subpar receiving corps and under a coach who clearly didn't want him on the team, Wilson was still able to finish the season with 3,070 yards, 26 touchdowns, and 8 interceptions, while leading the team to a 7-8 record as a starter. He comes into Pittsburgh, where he has a better group of pass catchers, a better offensive line, as well as run game, and a much better defense. Pairing this with his elite veteran leadership and Super Bowl experience, this may not only be a signing that revives Wilson's career, but one that could lead the Steelers to winning it all in 2024. Along with Wilson, the Steelers also traded a conditional 6th-rounder to pick up Justin Fields. While Fields has not blown away the league during his time with the Chicago Bears, he was forced to play with 2 head coaches and 2 offensive coordinators in only 3 years. He now finds himself with one of the most stable organizations in the league, and this is a contract year. While it appears that Wilson will be the day one starter, it is hard to believe that Fields will not be used in the offense throughout the year due to his elite athletic ability. Pittsburgh also made some amazing moves in the draft, bulking up their offensive line with the selections of offensive lineman Troy Fontenot out of Washington in the first round and center Zach Frazier out of West Virginia in the second round, 2 of the best offensive linemen in this year's draft. Later on in the draft, they also picked up offensive guard Mason McCormick out of South Dakota State. In the third round, they made another great pickup with the addition of slot receiver Roman Wilson out of Michigan, a player who will make for an elite 1-2 punch alongside George Pickens. While the team's biggest weaknesses last season was their offense, especially in the passing game, Pittsburgh could end up having a very dangerous passing attack in this upcoming season. Defensive acquisitions. On the defensive side of the ball, Pittsburgh made a huge signing, bringing in linebacker Patrick Queen, who is coming off of a Pro Bowl and All-Pro second-team season. Being able to take Queen away from a division rival in the Baltimore Ravens is the cherry on top of this signing. He will join an already loaded defensive unit and will instantly have a huge impact on the team. In the draft, they further added to their linebacking core, bringing in Peyton Wilson from NC State, an absolute steal in the third round. With the elite year that the defense had in 2023, linebacker was truly their only major position of need. Having that need taken care of with the additions of Queen and Wilson, the Steelers could very well end up having the best defense in the entire league. But why will the Steelers win the 2024-2025 Super Bowl? While many of you are still sleeping on the Steelers heading to this season, they surely have the talent and coaching to win it all this coming year. They have the deepest quarterback room in the league with Russell Wilson and Justin Fields. While Wilson had a rough go in Denver in terms of team success, he still ranked 9th in passing touchdowns last season. He will have a much stronger supporting cast around him in Pittsburgh, with George Pickens and Roman Wilson at wide receiver, along with a reliable target in Pat Freiermuth at tight end. Pairing this with the elite talent on defense, this could be a return to form for Wilson. While Fields will spend the year as the team's backup barring any injuries, he will benefit from learning from a Super Bowl champion and being coached by one of the league's best head coaches, if not the best head coach. Even if he is not featured much in 2024, if he remains in Pittsburgh long term, he very well could be the team's quarterback of the future. With the upgrades they've made to their offensive line, this season could be a breakout season for Jaylen Warren after a very promising campaign last season. On defense, the Steelers definitely have the talent to be one of the league's best units. Led by All-Pro TJ Watt, a perennial Defensive Player of the Year contender who should have won it last year, let's be honest. He is able to get to the quarterback like almost no other in the league. Along with this, following a great rookie season from cornerback Joey Porter Jr., there is a strong chance that he will continue to improve through his second season and develop into one of the league's premier shutdown corners. Finally, with Minkah Fitzpatrick returning from a knee injury that shut his season down, the Steelers could go from a team that was sent home in the wild card round to Super Bowl champions in just 1 year. It seems like everything is coming together for the Steelers, and with Wilson and Tomlin at the helm, paired with a star-studded defense, 2024 is set to be their year.